started.
Hi pet lovers, thanks for joining Gina's grooming channel, and thanks for joining us on another episode of our vlog where we discuss grooming industry subjects for aspiring groomers or folks who just love their pets and want to know what happens behind the scenes. Today's subject is one of my favorites. It's on the Groomuda triangle, so finding the perfect haircut length for your pets. Now we're going to be discussing pets who need haircuts, so if you guys aren't sure which pets do need haircuts, go ahead and check us out on vlog 15, which is to cut or not to cut, where we discuss what kind of pets should get haircuts and what kind of pets should not. So finding the perfect coat length is going to be dealing with those pets that need haircuts, right? So how do we determine how to find that perfect length? So let's take a look at some of those key factors and how they form the Grooming triangle. Anyway, moving on. So we know triangle, right? We can visualize that. So the first side of that triangle, so the first key factor is going to be time, right? So how much time a client has on brushing their dog in between professional grooming visits. So some clients have a lot of time to do this and they can work with their dogs. So let's count this time as one of our sides of that triangle. The second side of the triangle is money. How much money? What are the means that the client has to pay a professional pet groomer to go ahead and manage this coat? So that is the second side of the triangle. Remember, the first side is the client's time, and the second side is the means, how much money a client has to keep that pet maintained. So then when we look at these two sides, right, so we have time, how much time the client has to spend with their dog, right? And then we have money, right, how much money a client has to spend on a professional to manage their dog. The other side of the triangle is going to show the length of the coat that the dog or the pet can have. Now, there are different variables about exactly what that pet length is, but let's go ahead and see when we play with one of those sides, what happens with the other sides. So let's start with a baseline where all sides are equal, right? So, and this is really where most clients fit in. They have a medium amount of time. They have a medium amount of money, right? So they do brush their dog in between professional pet grooming visits, but they do bring their pet in about every 4 to 6 weeks on a normal basis. So this is where we have our puppy cut lengths, right? About 1 inch to 2 inches. So about 2.5 centimeters to maybe 5 centimeters long. So you get our puppy cuts that fit into this kind of a Grooming triangle where we have medium time, medium money, right? People aren't going crazy and spending a lot of money and time on their pets. And for our coated breeds, this turns out to be our puppy cut lengths. So let's set this as our baseline and then take a look at other triangles that we can make. Okay, so if you want a longer haired dog, let's go ahead and take a look at what that would take. So if you don't have a lot of money, and you can't spend it on a professional pet groomer to manage your dog very often, but you want that long cut, what you need to increase is the time that you spend brushing your dog in between professional grooming visits. Okay, so that makes sense, right? So if you can't spend the money, which is okay, you still need to devote the time because the coat is still growing. The physics of that coat is still happening. Your pet still can get matted, and that equals pain and discomfort and stress. So we can't have that. So just keep that triangle in mind as a client, right? Or as an aspiring groomer, make sure you teach that to your clients to understand that if they do want a longer coat than our general puppy coat length with the 4 to 6 standard kind of rotation with grooming appointments, there is going to definitely need to be more time from the client invested to make that happen. And so let's jump into the lucky few that have kind of unlimited funds. They have a lot of money. Now, these folks can pretty much get whatever length that they want as long as they kind of listen to their groomer, they're professional. They don't need to put that much time into it themselves. They can go ahead, pay a professional, but that's going to be a recurring appointment. You're going to be spending a lot of money if you're a client to do this. So as aspiring groomers, definitely know that you are going to have clients that are going to be coming in on a regular basis. Maybe they don't have a lot of money themselves, but they are investing money into their pet, making sure that they get the look that they want for their pet if it's a long coated type of a look. But they know that they can't put their pet through any pain or anxiety, so they pay a professional to do that for them. And let's look at the smallest triangle in the room, basically. That is, if you don't have any time and you don't have any money, unfortunately, the length of your dog is going to be very short because you need to keep your pet short as long as possible so that they don't mat. So just know that your triangle is going to be very, very little if you have no time nor money and you have a coated dog. No problem about that at all. Thank you for adopting a pet with a coat if that's what you did, and you're doing that from the kindness of your heart and you love this pet. It's totally cool. It's totally okay to keep them in a really short puppy cut. Make it manageable for them and make it manageable for you. Now, I know I simplified everything into these just basically two factors that affect the length of the coat if you are looking for that perfect length so that your pet stays healthy and happy. There are some other factors, of course, because nothing is that simple, right? But I do want to say also that that exact duration of time in between grooming appointments is going to depend on different variables, and your groomer is going to be working with each client to make sure that they know what is the frequency that they need to have with their pet, their individual pets. And I'm just going to close with there's absolutely other factors that will affect the length of the coat, the behavior of the dog. If they are nervous for grooming, and we need to make sure to minimize their visits to the groomer, which is absolutely A-okay. We need to keep those pets shorter. We need to extend the time between grooming visits. So make sure you know that that's kind of part of the side of the triangle, that there are factors such as behavior, timid issues, fear issues, that we want to keep those pets short, keep them from coming into the groomer too often. We also, of course, have our medical reasons. We have our elderly pets as well, where we're going to go ahead and do things a little differently for the comfort of the pets, so the triangle becomes a little more flexible when we're dealing with medical issues and health and benefits for the pets. So know that even though this is a guideline, and I will say a very good guideline, it has definitely worked to visualize this triangle, to move forward with that in mind, to make sure that we don't overreach our expectations of what dog coats can handle, and that we're playing in the right space and doing the right thing for our pets. Guys, thank you so much for joining me and allowing me to introduce to you my concept of the Groomuda triangle. I hope that it helps you aspiring groomers in communicating this better. I hope any pet owners who are watching, maybe it's an aha moment, and you will be working with your groomers if you're not home grooming yourself, to really kind of open up that window and understand really what kind of a frequency we need to achieve that perfect length for your pet, where they're happy, where we're happy with the way they look. We can totally do this. So I hope that this kind of gives us a little more insight into that. Guys, if you like this video, we really appreciate you clicking that thumbs up. Subscribe for more like it. We appreciate your time, and we will see you soon. Bye.